India is the new target in the European Union's search for new partnerships. The world's most populous democracy has great potential for the bloc to develop ties in trade and security. However, the enduring alliance between India and Russia remains a source of disagreement between the two parts. EU Decoded will examine the new EU-India strategic agenda.
With bilateral trade in goods worth 120 billion euros, the EU is India's largest trading partner. There are 6,000 European companies operating in India. The EU would like to conclude a free trade agreement by the end of the year in order to significantly reduce tariffs and other barriers. Agriculture is one of the most difficult sectors in the negotiations, particularly wine and spirits, processed foods, and dairy products.
In view of the ongoing geopolitical alignment, another pillar to be developed is the new EU-India Security and Defense Partnership. Later in the program we will talk more about that, but let's hear what Europeans think of closer ties with India.
Δεν υπάρχουν φιλίες μεταξύ κρατών και υπάρχουν μόνο συμφέροντα, καταλάβατε.
Έργα όπως ο οικονομικός διάδρομος Ινδίας Μέσης Ανατολής Ευρώπης που μπορούν να βοηθήσουν σε μια κατεύθυνση να απομακρυνθεί η Ινδία ενδεχομένως από τον τόσο σφιχτό εναγκαλισμό με τη Ρωσία και άρα να έρθει πιο κοντά σε δυτικές χώρες και αξίες.
Ci sono i cosiddetti compromessi economici che ci sono, dove la moralità lascia il tempo che trova.
Poi ormai tanto il mondo è tutto globalizzato, quindi non so cosa è possibile fare altrimenti.
Secondo me dovrebbe trovare veramente degli accordi importanti, soprattutto sull'Unione proprio sotto il profilo umano, e poi iniziare un discorso nel profilo economico.
Euronews reporter Jorge Liboreiro has been covering this topic. What explains all the attention that Brussels is paying to New Delhi's government?
Well, I think it's a mix of diplomatic desperation and strategic pragmatism, because right now the European Union has very tense relations with the United States, it has confrontational relations with China, and adversarial relations with Russia. So it's a very complicated geopolitical situation. And is now looking at India, which is the world's most populous country. It's a rising economic superpower, and it's a major actor in the so-called global south. So it fits these credentials for a new partnership, an important partnership for, navigate together this turmoil of the 21st century.
Does this mean that India's traditional alliance with Russia is no longer a red line for the European Union?
Well, it's a major source of friction. We have seen recently Indian soldiers participate in joint military exercises of Russia and Belarus near the borders with Poland and Lithuania. And we also know that India is a major client of Russia's crude oil, which is fundamental to finance the invasion of Ukraine. What's happening right now is that we are changing the geopolitical calculus, and we are deciding to be more flexible regarding this red line and to focus on the benefits rather than wasting time on the disagreements.
And how does the European Union fit into India's foreign policy?
Right now, India's relations with the United States are at a rock bottom. We have seen Donald Trump doing whatever he can to alienate New Delhi, 50% tariffs, a new approach towards Pakistan. So India is also very shocked by the Trump administration, and it's seen that the European Union could be this new big partner in the West. So you see, both sides, the European Union and India, have bad relations with Trump and are coming now together.
Thank you, Jorge. Let's take a closer look at India's defense plans.
India's defense budget for 2025-2026 is 69 billion euros. Its traditional supplier is Russia, which accounts for 36% of its purchases. However, India has been buying more from the West, particularly the US, Israel, the UK, France, and Germany. In the case of EU countries, 2 agreements were signed in 2025. France sold 26 Rafale marine combat aircraft, valued at 7 billion euros. Germany will build 6 Type 214 submarines with Indian partners, valued at 5 billion euros.
Our guest is German Angelika Niebler from the EPP Group in the European Parliament, chair of the Delegation for Relations with India. Does the EU have more to gain than to lose by strengthening its relationship and partnership with India, which accuses of helping Russia maintain its war economy?
India is a very, very important political power. India is a great economy, huge, one of the biggest economies in the world. And as regards defense and security, I think when we really agree on terms, it will help both of us. We know that India and Russia had a long-standing relationship, and I think you can't just cut ties from one day to another, you know. So for us, I think it's important to engage, to also express our concerns, to also try to understand what their perspective, what their interests are, and then, of course, you know, defending our own interests.
The US President Donald Trump has imposed 50% tariffs on India and has asked the EU to follow suit, going even to 100% tariffs, arguing that this would help stop the war in Ukraine. What will be the impact of this agreement with India in the US-EU relationship?
I think the general policy in all regions in the world is to go for more independence, to become more resilient. That is what actually India is heading for. That is what the European Union is heading for. I think that's the right approach. Let's get more resilient. But you know, no region in the world can do it on its own. So I think the way forward is here to go for multilateralism, to see where you have friends, where you have a sort of common understanding.
Although China is an historical rival of India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has shown willingness to have a closer relationship with the Beijing government. Can the EU really trust India as an ally?
Let's concentrate on our policy. I do not want to blame the others for doing this or that. We have to have a pragmatic, a realistic approach. I fully agree on that. But always, you know, concentrating what is in our interest, what is strengthening the European Union.
Brussels wants diplomatic efforts to consolidate into an EU-India summit sometime in early 2026. For the time being, all 27 member states are on board with this strategy, which allows for negotiations to move at a faster pace. Faced with disappointments with traditional allies such as the US, the EU is now willing to take a more pragmatic approach and some risks with new partners.